Hello, there's an Ibrahim Traore, and there's a Kash Patel, who's involved with other FBI directors too, a former standing chairperson on the Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, Robert Luskin, co-defendants of his, involved with some black KKK, Latino theme, Confederate flag theme, stealing American history, shell game, they're fake sides. And then they're speaking about calm. Then these are people putting fake transcripts in courts with police forms, forcing child abusers, leaders, and kids, elderly homes, sick, fakes, fake science. They're preventing us free speech from being calm. They can't afford it because they're recorded, involved with predicate acts methods, whole methods of it, differences, racketeering. If they could speak about honesty, they wouldn't have left out black people's whites of eyes. It would have surfaced. They cannot be honest. They have rules blaming other things, others, ourselves, for that which our founders told us to blame on the hyperforeign, the breaching method. Our founders had declassified for us and for themselves why and how they did not have free speech, and everyone had to pretend other. Otherwise, that body was sentenced, including if it has a majority of people, including if it has an entire country together. They have our schools, collusions with other countries, framing our founders for slavery. Our founders wanted us clear as day. Our founders are the ones that ended it to the best extent it was ended. But it's still not ended because our founders' identities are stolen, just like our black pupils, whites of eyes, collusions. Force not spoken about. Our identities are stolen. That's what black people's changing when it communicates. You don't leave that subject. You don't leave how nature communicates with black and white out from how a breaching method reassigned black and white communications by nature, when nature is not only nature as criminal insidiousness. People go, oh, if things were natural, they would be. Some things are only natural as criminal insidiousness. This would have surfaced a long, long time ago. Had one identity of law, had integrity. Now, one name of one person of the science. The people of the sciences are abridged sickly distinctly at campuses A through Z too, per the breaching method needs to sense that self-value and or what it causes in nature's demonstrations of it blamed on other things others yourselves, because those same demonstrations come with demonstrations of the breaching method, replaced right from the founders' communications of America. And we only know, the only founder we know was the name of was James Madison. And then he was a president too, and he still didn't have free speech. We have this declassified for us, and how and why. We guys need to pay attention to what has the slavery, torture, extortion, slavery method and trade. They won't even allow people to be honest about the extortion of George Washington. Otherwise, it would have surfaced how he was counter-extorted. George Washington, the rest of the presidents / chiefs, the rest of the colonists and citizens, and ones as Native Americans too, the rest of the Native Americans. Nature itself shows us, and like president / chief, this is ciphered to be deciphered. We know that some of the Native Americans agreed with, they had to, with James Madison's plan. And George Washington used that plan to counter-extort the rest of the people. In other words, we're supposed to understand this. They had wanted nothing to do with slavery. You don't vote on slavery and pretend there's an unabridged constitution. In other words, if you're voting on slavery, you're confessing a whole bunch of other things. Vaccines. We need mandated law followed. Get me off the fake conversations with WFSB. Connecticut's Channel 3 News has roles with this. The sources of WTNH, right through administrations, putting fake transcripts to presidents and their equivalent. World Trade Center predicate acts. I was in the Ninth Circuit Court and I was an observer right next to the World Trade Center towers with their attack. They have a whole bunch of recorded collusions with people tied directly and indirectly with former director of the F.B.I, Robert Luskin, and the Saudi attackers. Increasingly, Wethersfield police have collusions with that and with the news. Recorded confess, a whole bunch of people tied to a Claudia Scalura, a bunch of boyfriends tied to her. And it can't be all intelligence, even if it is intelligence families that have roles intercities with her and people with that say that they're people, Claudia Scalura, but other Scaluras also. A Subby Scalura is further involved with sexual and medical offenders of kids first forced. I caught them too. And that's recorded on Facebook, but they're changing and faking what's recorded digitally. Wedding forensics has roles when I was a kid, and now increasingly with various natures of crime scenes and untimely death spots, untimely deaths and murders and body dumping spots, totally different murders, years apart too. Time use slash S of them. I had things confirmed on Facebook, and then they stole my Facebook page. All rage. Get them on paper, one name and sequence. They have a real audacity to pretend they could speak for calm legitimately or for aggression legitimately. They make convictions ill in their minds. I'll delineate their delusions from their criminally foreign influence, fact-checking nature, quiet aspects of nature, people speaking for the sciences. Get them onto paper, one name and sequence. Get the Britain Superior Court involved. Onto paper, one name and sequence with the Wethersfield Police involved too with these punk games. Watch.